Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast. It is your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, here with you. And I have a guest who is actually a great friend of mine. She and I have known each other for, I think almost 2 years now. Is it, Tonya? It's almost 2 years, definitely like 18 months or more. And Tonya Jahnke is someone who I met through her husband originally. She is a nurse, and also she is let's get the title correct, a QSSC. You're going to tell us what that is in just a little bit, with Juice Plus. She's been in business for 5.5 years, and she is passionate about helping families stay healthy together by sharing the whole food nutrition of Juice Plus. She's been a registered nurse for over 22 years, and she's cared for many patients and their families, and she has seen the devastating effects of what poor nutrition can do to those families. This is why she loves sharing the hope and nutrition of what Juice Plus can offer. And she feels like she has a moral obligation to help as many families as possible. Tonya is married to Corey and has a teenage son, Christopher. Corey is a pharmacist and author and also a podcast host. And her son is getting ready to graduate from school this year. Is that right?
Next 2021,
and he is going to be going into the Navy. We just found out. Woo! Wowzers, that's so cool. And they have 2 dogs. So I love the pictures and videos that you guys share on Facebook about your dogs. They're so sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
So welcome to the show, Tonya.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Jennie. This is a pleasure and an honor. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
Yay! I was so excited when you said yes to be on the show. I just was ecstatic because I was like, yes, I can't wait to share what Tonya has to say, because you are doing some really cool things, not only with your Juice Plus business, but also in the world of health coaching, health and wellness coaching, which I think is just super awesome. But let's start with telling your story about how did you end up as a nurse getting into direct sales with Juice Plus?
Well, thank you again, Jennie. And yes, it's funny that you asked. So I had been a nurse for almost 18 years, and then I was introduced to Juice Plus by a friend. I had never even heard of the word network marketing. I had never heard of owning your own business. I was a nurse, and I was homeschooling my son at the time, and had just joined this network business group. And one of the gals said, since you eat so healthfully, maybe you would like to try this supplement called Juice Plus. And I said, oh no, I'm not going to juice. That's way too expensive, and the waste. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. No. It's whole food in a capsule. I said, well, as a nurse, I take tons of vitamins. So you guys, before I was introduced to Juice Plus, I was taking handfuls of vitamins up to 3 times a day. My husband, being a pharmacist, he would get so mad at me because he'd say, nobody's regulating those supplements. You're just doing more harm to your body than good. And as a nurse, I was like, well, I know better than you. And, and you're just my husband. And I really was doing more harm to my body than good. And I was spending hundreds of dollars on supplements that my body was probably just excreting and not even utilizing, because many of these supplements are synthetically made in a lab, not to be processed by the human body. So my friend introduced me to Juice Plus. I was online kind of secretly ordering it. And Corey, my husband, comes behind. So what are you ordering now? And I said, well, it's this thing called Juice Plus. I don't know. It looks good. And I'm thinking, it's just another thing to add to my regimen of pills. And Corey said, just wait a minute, let me just research this. And he did the research. He said, whatever this is, you need to be on it. I need to be on it. And Christopher needs to be on it ASAP. And then he said, this is so good. I really think you need to share this as well. And like I said, back then, I had no idea. I'm like, sell something? I'm a nurse and I'm homeschooling my son. I've got enough on my plate. And he said, no, you can do this. And I jumped in with 2 feet, really not knowing anything. And I have loved this journey, and it has grown me more than I can even explain. So that's my story.
That is so awesome. I actually got goosebumps when you were talking about how Corey did the research and came back and said that this was something that not just you needed to be on, but all of you guys needed to be on it. Because that, the fact that that's coming from a pharmacist, right? And he's been doing the pharmacy thing for what, like 30 years?
Years, yes.
Yeah. So the fact that a pharmacist, is going, oh, this is necessary and we should do this. And not only that, but I think you need to be sharing this with other people. That's how important he sees that. And I think that's phenomenal. So in your 5.5 years now, you've achieved the rank of, as it says here, QSSC. What does that stand for?
Qualifying Senior Sales Coordinator.
Nice. That's awesome. Congratulations for reaching that rank.
Thank you.
Awesome. So you said that your business has grown you in a lot of different ways. What's the thing that really resonates the most with you in terms of your growth? What's the biggest leap that you've made in your own personal growth because of your business with Juice Plus?
I think mostly it's due to the relationships and the family. Not that I have created that, but I was able to jump into just the love and the support. And I did see that with friends prior to this, but this is its own entity of amazing people. They surrounded me with love. They've supported me right from the beginning. Our sideline buddies are just as supportive of each other as their direct sales team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just putting myself out there and being able to be okay with Tonya Jahnke has made a huge difference, because when you are actually selling or sharing something you're so passionate about, I don't even really know how to explain it, but I didn't do that before. I'm passionate about nursing, love nursing. I love being a mom, I love being a wife, and all of those things. But this is something different, to just go out and share yourself and share a product that you really believe in. It just grows you in a different way. It boosts your self-esteem and your self-worth and your self-confidence. I would have never done this, Jenny. I would have never done a podcast like this 5.5 years ago.
Aww.
I would have never been in front of, I speak in front of audiences now. I would have never done that before. So my self-confidence has increased in just ways that I never foresaw it going. So
that is so cool. And I think that's something that I hear fairly consistently across the board from my clients in direct sales. It is the personal growth, and especially the confidence that comes from, running a business, having something of worth that you are passionate about sharing. It just helps you build and grow in ways that most people, when they sign up, when they buy their kit, or, which every company's a little bit different, but whenever they sign up, they don't anticipate those extra benefits of the business, which is, the personal growth factor, the family that you get, the extra family that you get from being a part of a team of independent business owners. So other people who are doing the same thing that you are, in different places of the country too. I'm sure your network has really expanded as well.
Yes, absolutely. Friends all over the United States, into Canada. Just, it's amazing.
That is so cool. Now, having been in business for 5.5 years, I'm sure it is not all, it's not all rainbows and roses. There are probably times when you've encountered various obstacles that might have made business a little more difficult than other times. Can you share with the listener one of the obstacles that you have encountered and how did you overcome it?
So I have been in personal growth for many, many years, even prior to Juice Plus. I listened to Darren Hardy and Jim Rohn. And I'd listened to all of these amazing speakers and authors. And I was able to put that into my mothering practice and my nursing practice. But it's totally different when you're in a network marketing space. And I was able to just turn around a lot of the things that I learned from those amazing people. And the way I was able to do that is when I first started, I wasn't used to people saying no. Mm-hmm. And that was the biggest obstacle because I took that, like, when people said no, I really took that to heart. Like, they're saying no to me. Mm. And I'm a pretty sensitive person, and I like even tearing up now just thinking about that and how I felt back then because I really took it personally.
Yeah.
And I remember my husband, he's my hugest support system. And he would say, Tonya, they're not saying no to you. They're just saying no to the product. It's not their time now. It may be in the future and it may not. But he had to keep telling me that over and over, like, it's not you personally they're saying no to. They're saying no to the opportunity right now. It's just not the right place for them now. I was in a right place then, 5.5 years ago, when I said yes. I had no idea. I was just saying yes. But it happened to be the right time for me.
Right.
And so when people, future customers, I call them future customers, not potential customers. Mm-hmm. My future customers, when they say no, I just say it's just not yet and maybe not at all, but I don't take it personally anymore. And that was the biggest obstacle. And still now today, it still just hurts a little bit, but I'm able to say, give them the grace that they require at that time. Take a deep breath and just say the next person may say yes. And you've heard it if you're part of any kind of network marketing, at any point in time, you've heard, when you have a no, just focus on the yes. Or the more no's you have, the more yeses you have. Or, there's different ways to say it. But I just know that some people are going to say no, but it's not about you. It is about their situation at the time.
Absolutely. And oftentimes it's that they just don't understand the value of what's being offered to them is oftentimes what it is, or they're just not in a position to make a switch like that, unfortunately. So I can definitely relate because when I first started in selling jewelry, there were people who were like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to have a party, or I don't want to, do the business or anything like that. And there was a little bit like, oh, okay. But then I realized, yeah, it's just, that's not their place and that's okay. It's totally okay if they choose not to do it because, if I were to drag somebody into this, then I'm going to have to drag them along to actually work. Right. Yeah. Whereas if I can focus on the people who are enthusiastically yes, then those are the people who are oftentimes also enthusiastic workers for their own business.
Absolutely.
It's the people who get it. So yeah, getting past no is, I think, a big thing. And most people, I think for those who say no to the opportunity as a business owner, they are oftentimes saying no because they think they can't handle the no's. And I think they know how many you do encounter because, out of every 100 conversations, only 3 people are in a place where they're actively seeking what we have to offer.
Right.
So that means you're going to hear 97 no's for every 100 conversations. And there are a lot of people who just aren't in a place where they're ready to hear that. But I think one of the things that we've gotten to know just through, so listener, know that Tonya and I also met because we share a coach, a networking coach who teaches people how to build their business by referral. And what we've learned in that is how to take those 97 no's and shrink them down to only 60 no's, right? I think it's 63 no's instead of 97 no's if you build your business by referral. And I would definitely agree with that, because the business that comes to me by referral, I close almost 100% of that business because somebody has already, pre-sold, right? There's that third party validation that comes from that. So is that something that you're utilizing from your customers in building your customer base, is asking for referrals?
Sometimes, absolutely, because sometimes they're not in a place to say yes, but almost always say, well, my mother has problems with this, or my brother eats a vegan diet. This might be perfect for him, or, and it can go on and on. And so absolutely, sometimes you don't even have to ask for it. They'll say, it's probably not right for me right now, but I know somebody, so right.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
And it doesn't hurt to ask, so yes, this isn't right for you right now, but who do you know that may be? So,
yeah. And I think, but also talking to your super happy customers, the ones who are great, right? They're grateful to be on the product.
right.
They're much more likely to actually pass a potential referral than even somebody who's in the middle of a no.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
To be able to send a sister, a best friend, a cousin, whatever, to, say, hey, I feel really great on this product, on these supplements. I think
Right.
you should try them. Here, talk to my friend Tonya. She'll educate you about them, And so that way it's a great way to help build your business, is to actually request referrals from your happiest customers, especially when they're already reaching out to you going, oh my gosh, this is amazing, or I feel so great. That's the time to say, hey, so who do you know that would probably be into taking the supplement? Would you have a conversation with them and send them my way if they're interested? Because I think people are much more comfortable with the referral process if they're the ones who are saying, well, let me talk to them, because not everybody feels comfortable sharing names right away.
Right.
So that's a potential way to help build your business, especially right now when people are feeling kind of weird. Just so you guys know, we are recording this in the middle of quarantine / isolation / whatever. It's the end of April 2020 when we're recording this. And so, direct sales, I think even traditional business owners that I talk to are feeling kind of weird about trying to prospect for new business. And so I think if you can begin to have the conversations with your happy customers, continue, doing the customer service and asking for those referrals, right?
Absolutely. I think customer service is got to be one of your number one activities that you do within your business. Absolutely. And I think that's a great point, Jenny, that you said about asking your customers for referrals. It's excellent. Perfect.
Good. Well, feel free to go do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Feel free. Take that and run with it, please. Because I mean, honestly, that's one way to build your business in the middle of what's going on right now is to say, number one, do the customer service, follow up with everybody, make sure that your customers are doing okay, and just saying, hey, how are you? You don't have to put on a brave face for me. I'm here to be a support for you, right? And then as you're talking to them, if they happen to bring up the fact that they're so glad that they are on the Juice Plus right now because it makes them feel more comfortable with how their health is because they're supporting their immune system with this great supplement, then that's a time when you can say, well, who else do you know might want to be on these? Because this might be a good time to share with them. And so then they can go begin having those conversations and send them to you. So it's a way to grow your business in a time when people are kind of scared, I think, to go out and prospect new business, especially at this time, because some of the biggest referrals I'm getting right now are all of my friends and family and referral partners who are getting bombarded by messages from people that they like just recently friended on social media, and their first message out to them is like, hey, you should totally buy my product, it's going to help you right now. And it's like, trying to sell out a relationship, right? Like nobody gets on Facebook to buy stuff. Like I don't know anybody who gets on Facebook with the intention of purchasing, right?
Absolutely.
So, I think that utilizing the referrals is a great way to build your business in this time. And that's true no matter what your product is. If it's something that can support people in this time, whether it's to feel better about themselves or actually, work to help their body work the way it's supposed to, that's the time to have the conversation with your current customers and asking for referrals to people, or asking them to have the conversation with people that they think might be interested in the conversation. So it just makes it so much easier. So tell me, Tonya, because you've been in for 5.5 years, you have now officially already beat the FTC statistics for network marketing, right? Because in the research I've done, I know that according to the FTC, 90% of network marketers are out of business within 5 years of their start date. So you've already beat that. So what would you say your secret to direct sales success is?
I totally believe it's due to relationships. When you are able to build a relationship with that friend or the person you just met, and you don't bombard them, like Jenny had mentioned, with buy this, they want to know, like, and trust you. And you will hear so many coaches say that you need to be, known, they need to trust you, and they need to like you. Mm-hmm. And trust is a huge issue. And that's how you build relationships with anyone. You wouldn't just walk in anywhere and just say, will you date, date, or will you go to bed with me? It's like, you probably heard that scenario, but no, you want to build that relationship first, right? That's so important. And the relationships that I've been able to build in these last 5.5 years are substantial. And being a part of your group, Jenny, the badass, it's that her group is really amazing. And the support and the love that you get there and all of the tips that you provide are really very, very helpful. And we've been able to get to that level just because we were able to build this relationship. And so I think relationship building, it just is. And I think that's really important to me in my life. And I think that's really important to everyone, and even you and all of the people that you know, that they want to know you first and then open up the conversation about your product. So
yeah. And oftentimes once you have really built that relationship, when you've really made it about the other person, and if they're the kind of person that you want to do business with, the way you find out is if they ask you what you do, right? If you don't make the focus to be about your business, or that's the reason why you're wanting to get to know them, but just getting to know them as another human being. And then oftentimes they'll ask you, so what do you do? Right? If you can get them to ask the question, and then, don't use that time to verbally vomit your sales pitch on them, giving them the opportunity to ask the questions about what you do and how that works. And, again, you want to keep them wanting more, asking more, those kinds of things. But the relationship building, you are so right. It's a big part of, if you talk to all the top salespeople in every company, they're going to say that they build relationships. It's really the only way to build an effective sales business. And it doesn't matter whether it's network marketing or quote unquote traditional business, So Tonya, thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge, your story, your secret to success in direct sales. This is awesome. And the one thing we didn't even get to talk about this time, we're going to have to get together and talk again and do another conversation here on the podcast, because you also have another program, a health program called the Healthy Habits Girl.
Great.
Oh,
yeah. Yes.
Next time we'll talk about Healthy Habits Girl, because I think it's a wonderful way to help introduce you to people who may or may not have been interested in the supplements, but they want to build a healthy habit. And so, as a registered nurse, people are going to trust what you have to say about what is healthy and what's not. So we need to get together and talk about Healthy Habits Girl. Awesome sauce. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time.
Jenny, thank you. Thank you. This has been a pleasure. I've had a lot of fun. So thank you.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. If you want to reach out to Tonya, you can find her on Facebook as Tonya, Tonya, Tonya Jahnke, Jahnke. Jahnke, right? I spelled that right? Okay, good. She is on Facebook, and I will put much of her contact information in the show notes as well. So if you guys want to connect with Tonya to ask some questions about Juice Plus, because maybe you don't have Juice Plus in your area and want to learn more. So thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. This is your Direct Sales Dom signing out, and stay tuned for the next badass episode.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your Direct Sales Dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the Dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.